Welcome back to the Off the Tools podcast with your host, Jimmy Hong and Joshua Grutenboer. So, yeah, we got a good one here, and let's dive right in. Let's get you guys a lot of value here. So, I guess to start off, I'll ask you this, Josh. Why do you think most contractors' marketing typically fail?
I mean, there's a lot of reasons why most contractors marketing fails, and it definitely kind of depends in terms of what we're talking about in terms of like the marketing mechanism that we're talking about. But let's say, for instance, we're talking about that online side of things. I think like it's so funny because Jimmy, when we go to contractors' pages when we're talking about working with them and stuff like that, and we see them tell us, oh, like I've tried even like Facebook ads in the past, whatever, it doesn't work. We'll go to their page. They have no photos of any of the work that they've done. They have no reviews on anything that they've done ever. They haven't put any time or effort into a logo, any time or effort into a timeline photo. And we've talked about this before, but it's like if you walk into someone's house and they haven't put any time or effort into making it look nice, it's like, well, that's not a very inviting atmosphere. So now you're asking them to give you their information. Probably not going to work.
Yeah, that's so true. It's like you go there. Maybe they just don't see it because it's their page. But as soon as we go to somebody's Facebook page and we see that, it's like, no wonder you didn't get like any leads, or you're not even running ads, no reviews, things like that. So yeah, like what do you think people should do instead?
I mean, just to start off, you definitely want to spend some time thinking about what message you're sending out to the world, right? And it's like, if you've clearly spent time, developing some sort of logo that rings true to you, or just like some sort of professionalism to the page, like that's where you want to start. But it's like there's so many even just like business fundamentals that especially contractors miss. Like their logo will be red and blue, their timeline photo will be purple and yellow. It's like, well, there is no quote unquote branding here to be spoken of, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like
You want to have some sort of, huh?
I was just gonna say it's like the house from Up, just all different
Yes,
colors. There's no cohesion with everything. So yeah,
exactly, right? But it's like you think of, again, let's go Walmart. Yellow and blue. Yellow and blue, yellow and blue, yellow and blue. They introduced actually recently that tertiary color, the orange of like their pickup centers, for instance, but it's like it's consistent all the way through. And that's just to keep like the customer from like getting all crazy in their brain because they're not sure what's going on. So, I mean, just to start, I mean, why not just like get your colors right on
hmm
your page? Get your colors right on your logo. Even just like some people put like different edits and different sort of like filters on like the before and after photos and stuff like that. Use the same sort of edits and filters on every single one so it doesn't look all mix mash and all out of place.
yeah. It's kind of like you see some people's Instagrams, right? Like a lot of their photos, exact same filter.
Yeah,
If it's like sales content, it's very similar. So yeah, you just built out a brand. So I think it's very important. Okay.
totally.
Yeah, in terms of like, think of especially the marketing funnel for a contractor, or especially
Mm-hmm.
painters, remodelers. They always say around like you want to obviously have the awareness, like the content, and then that will bring in leads if you're running ads. Then you go do the sale and repeat work. So when you think of like the funnel for marketing for contractors, especially painters, remodelers, what does that typically look like for you?
If you're a contractor and you really want to build a funnel that's going to get people through the door and get you leads coming into the business, end of day, simplicity is the name of the game. Easy. What is the goal here? The goal here is to get probably the phone number and or the email of the person they're trying to get to do for you to do work for, right? So don't reinvent the wheel. We've done some experimenting in terms of like sending traffic to a website or using the native instant forms integrated into Facebook. And we found, for instance, just keep people on the site, Facebook. So all of a sudden, if you're blasting people to this website, that website, whatever, they click a link and like think of your target demographic, typically older people that just don't want to do the work themselves. They're like, they click on your link and they're like, where am I? Right? And totally fair for them to think that as well. So keeping it all on Facebook, especially if you're running Facebook ads and or Google ads, I mean, you have no choice but to route it to some sort of website. But again, just making sure that you're keeping it super simple in the funnel, and immediately in the funnel, first thing they see when they open up the funnel, it's what are our services? This is our list of
Hmm.
services. Click down below if you'd like a quote on any of these. Again, just super streamline the process. I'm not putting like our company slogan or their company slogan or our mission statement there. They don't care. They
Hmm.
probably just want different color walls. They don't care that your mission statement is to preserve and protect. They don't, right? They want new color walls. They want it to look nice in their home. It's always about the customer. It's never about you.
I love that. It is always going to be about the customers. It's funny
Mm-hmm.
because like as I do like reach out to more painting contractors, I do like a Facebook page audit for them. It's pretty crazy out there that like some people's pages are or even funnels just there's nothing. It's either
Mm-hmm.
non-existent or just straight up they don't keep it. Right? We talk a lot
Mm-hmm.
about like you can't have like content without ads. You can't have ads without content.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that really means to you? Maybe you can tell the viewers a little more about that, how the content and the ads go together.
Yeah, I mean, in the home analogy that we were talking about before, it's like a lot of times I think about the customer's journey when we're thinking about trying to get leads through the door for a business. And I presume, as a matter of fact, I know when somebody sees our ad, it's not always that they're going to go click the get quote button. And as a matter of fact, if it was me going to go get a quote, I probably wouldn't just click get quote unless it was a banging ad, just really blew my socks off.
Yeah.
I'd probably go to the page first and just see who is this company? What do they do? Is it a bunch of ragtag people with hopes and dreams, hoping not to fall off ladders while they're painting my house? Like, what is the general vibe of this business? Right. And I think something that's really important, even as well as when we're talking about the content, is humanizing the content.
Hmm.
Right. And there's a saying that people don't do businesses, they do business with people.
Yeah, love it.
So it's like having people in your actual Facebook page, having people in your content. It's like people want to do business with people. So why don't we just make that the foremost kind of thing that we're after here? Maybe a little introduction post to who the business owner is, or a meet the team post. Like these are
Hmm.
things that actually help humanize you and lower the barrier in terms of how much they feel like they need to trust you to move forward to even get a quote.
Yeah, I love it. There's no excuse, right? It takes like a
Mm-hmm.
couple minutes, like a few seconds to take a picture of your team, yourself, your family, what you're doing, and it really is just like classic Gary Vee, just documenting things. Because when people come to your page, they want to see what? Oh, Josh is running a painting business. Oh, look at that. His post from yesterday, they're painting some siding, right? Oh, they're
Mm-hmm.
staining a deck like 2 days ago, things like that. And it's like, when I talk to contractors and they talk about like, hey, I never have time for content. A lot of the
Mm-hmm.
times, it's because they think it's this huge thing they need to do where the text have to be perfect, the video needs to be perfectly edited. I need like transitions, all this stuff. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, dude, like all you need is like a video of your day and just documenting, and then just a nice caption with it. You don't even need to do
Mm-hmm.
anything crazy. People like the authentic stuff, especially with all that AI stuff right now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, before and after photos, like those go like leaps and bounds. It means you had the forethought to take a picture before you started the project, right? And yeah, I think that's so funny that I mean, when you talk to these contractors and you see like them say that they haven't had success on Facebook or whatever, and then you're looking at their page and you gotta be real nice. You gotta be, well,
yeah,
potentially there might be a couple of reasons for that. Can I walk you through what that is?
yeah. And we always kid them with the hard truth, right? Like I'd
Mm-hmm.
rather tell them how it is, and versus like, yeah, your ads are fine, or your content's okay. It's okay that you posted a month ago. It's like, no, like we want to give you it straight up so you can go and start fixing these things, or at least take action. So yeah, what would you say to like people that need some tips around even getting that content out, like as simple as possible, so someone can take action the easiest way? What would you say?
Jimmy, you know what's super crazy? I would argue, and I think some people disagree with this one, so this might be a hot take, but I think that putting out content for your service based business will do more for your service based business than even being on a job site. That is a hot take. And I get that. I get that's a hot take. But in the end of the day, I think actually picking up your phone and saying, hey guys, this is what we're doing here today is more akin to working on the business than you picking up the paintbrush and doing a bang and cut line. Right. So it's like ways you can do that is again those before and after pictures. I just had a conversation with one of our clients yesterday where he just ingrained in his end of day checklist for his painters that he's having those before pictures taken and having those after photos taken if they're at the beginning of the project or the end of the project, right? And it's like you can start with just your before and after photos. It can be a literally 15 seconds beginning of the day. Good morning, everybody. You know, we're starting on this deck here today. We're super excited. Transform this deck here. Can't wait to show you guys what's in store. And it's like, you know, thinking of the homeowner, you know, watching that video for, again, probably the 7 seconds of that 15-second video. And they're like, wow, like this guy's like pumped about getting my deck refinished.
Yeah.
I think that might be a decent person to get a quote from.
Yeah, I mean, it's someone that's super excited. Like people build off energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're gonna go in there like, hey, gonna get your deck done, probably not as pumped to get that person working for you than someone that's just, you know, love working with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Yeah, I know there's a lot of even common misconceptions that, you know, contractors like to think about, or even like just over the phone, we hear a lot like, you know, one of them, they don't need ads, right? Or they don't need them yet. They do great work and our good work will speak for itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, any challenges on that or anything, any thoughts about that?
Man, the tough part is about all of this as well is that's like your work will speak for yourself for itself, and you can scale a company just by doing good work and getting word of mouth. And you know, if you spend 10, 15 years of just doing good work, like your name is going to get around. You're going to have enough business cards that you've been giving people. But I think the question isn't if like you can scale a business just off good work alone, because like ultimately the best product in capitalism will win. Like that's typically what just happens. Um, but I think the question is like, how quick do you want to get there, right? Because it's like if you want to get there quicker, well, you're probably gonna need to implement some things other than just doing fantastic work. The really weird one I'd say that like kind of blows capitalism for a loop here is 2 years ago, Tesla had never put out an advertisement for any of their cars ever, which is wild, right? And like
Crazy.
and that's why and obviously it grew to be I believe they hit a $1 trillion company, and they're in the S&P 500 and they're in the top 7, you know, tech stocks, but they never did any sort of marketing. But lo and behold, they got to a point where they realized that even though Tesla, love it or hate it, there's believers and non-believers, even though they have a fantastic product in terms of the market that they're trying to service, they did realize in the end of the day, if we just send the message out to more people in terms of why our product is awesome, probably more people are going to want to buy it.
I love it. Yeah, and it's funny because even on top of that, there's contractors you talk to that maybe started their business like 1, 2, 3, 4 years ago, and they're like, oh, like I see these super successful guys, you know, only word of mouth. And then the next question I always ask is usually is like, oh, like how long have they been in business? And they'll be like, oh, 20, 30 years. Like, oh, well, no wonder. Like you've been around for 3 years. They've been around for 20. It's like, of course you're going to, if you do good work, of course there's going to be word of mouth.
Yeah. And it's also like what's your vision too, right? Because like my girlfriend's dad, for instance, is a contractor.
Yep.
And he's actually just retiring now, and he's, you know, he's pretty much always had work. But it's like this guy has always, I got a project, I'm going to do a project. I got a project, I'm going to do a project. And it's like you can do that if you're just doing one person. But if you're trying to build a company, well, that one project isn't going to feed those 2 people work in that one crew. That one project isn't going to feed those 4 people in those 2 crews that you have. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's funny because I spoke with a guy on the phone, runs a painting business, and last year he had up to 30 people working for him. Like,
Right.
yeah, some people in his business, some subs. And this year he's at six. As I'm doing like my
Mm.
um just doing like a little audit on his business. And it was crazy. Like he has, I think he said around up to around 6 to 10 days of gaps in his schedule. And every single time he has that in it, like that little gap, he loses like a handful of his guys. So he has to go back,
Mm-hmm.
and then some guys stay, some guys have no choice. But man, this guy was at 30 people because it was just a hotter, or even especially near COVID. And then all of a sudden he's down to six trying to rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Just so many, like, you take a few steps forward and then you take a massive step back. And then you have to have that conversation with these guys because he said they were very reliable. And it's like, man, you just had to let go. Like, what is that? 80% of your workforce since last year?
Yeah, I mean, I think an underrepresented aspect of like when we're just talking about the consistency of marketing in general is the consistency of online marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're relying on just like your word of mouth or your good work, there's no doubt that your good work is going to bring you more work. But is that going to all come in February and then nothing in March? Is that all going to come in June and then nothing in July? It's not
Mm-hmm.
trackable or scalable. And really, you're at the mercy of the universe, right? Because you're hoping that the good word of the gospel of your business is just going to infiltrate the right circles. That's what you're doing. And your little infection of your business is maybe getting to the right people, maybe it's not getting to the right people, and you really have no idea. But it's like when I'm running these campaigns here, when we're spending $1,000, we're getting anywhere between 10,000 and 15,000 impressions,
Mm-hmm.
and reliably every single time we can see, okay, between that 10,000 to 15,000 people, we're getting 20 to 40 leads. That's
Yeah.
turning into 10 to 15 estimates every single time, right? And when we're doing this at scale, we can reliably say that we're going to get that because we're getting to so many more people. We're not just hoping that people talk.
Yeah. It's funny because like success leaves clues, right?
Yeah.
So while you're doing all this, you have the KPIs. It's like, what's the most likely chance of you getting the leads, getting the estimates? It's like you have the trackable numbers, you have a lot of people looking at them, at your ad. And then from there, it's like you have good ads, good creatives, more likely of a chance that people are going to reach out to you to get work, plus the content, plus reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Well oiled machine, right?
Yeah, I mean, what's the Hermosi thing? He's like, work so hard that it'll be unreasonable for you not to succeed. And I mean, you can kind of translate that into so many different fashions, and the fashion you can translate that into for this would
Mm-hmm.
be it's like have so many avenues and be doing so many things right that it'd be unreasonable for you not to get a ton of goddamn work.
Yep. There you go. Yeah, it's like then it's like not just luck, right? No,
Mm-hmm.
not just chances. It's straight up in the numbers, just like Facebook ads. So I think I was telling you about this too. Like I was catching up with James so
Yeah.
earlier today, and this guy's booked 7,500 in the first week of his ads being live. So I was like, okay, what's going on here so far? And he's like, yep. So a lead comes in, calls them, and he's been booking these estimates. And he's like,
Nice.
there's some neighbors that are like, oh wow, like I didn't know you ran a painting business. And it was like, these are like
That's
people that live
crazy.
near him. And it's like, and he was just so like taken back. And it was like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like these guys live like next to you, a couple houses down, and now they found out because they got hit with the ad, and they're like, oh wow, I love it, like it looks great, like I see you on there now, and see you at the estimates, that's you in the video. But yeah, he's loving it. He's crushing it. There's a lot, obviously there's a process with everything. So yeah, let's say like in terms of leads, it doesn't even have to be Facebook or even like whatever your leads are coming in. What do you think are best practices to make sure someone picks up, to be able to, generate those estimates or even close sales? What would you say?
If you're not calling your lead within 5 minutes of the lead coming in, you are absolutely going to lose out on the sale
Mm-hmm.
all the time. Now, don't get me wrong. You're gonna get lucky here. You're gonna get
Yeah.
lucky there. It's gonna happen. But it's like I've called people back 10 minutes after I've got a lead, and they said I've gone with someone else.
Hmm.
And it's like I didn't even get a chance to put my foot and wedge it in the door and be like, wait, but this is why we're better, right? So if you're not calling those leads immediately when they come in, it's like you are doing yourself a disservice, you're doing your crews a disservice, you're doing your family a disservice. I hate to bring it to this lengths, but is that not true? You're just giving up revenue.
You really are. Like it's. Do you even? It's like how much do you care about the other person on the other side of the phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you? If you care a lot, you're calling them right away, or is it kind of like, oh, I'll just do it later?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's even the thing. This is not a mindset that I've necessarily taken on, but I've heard others have success with this mindset. And they go somewhere along the lines of if you're not making sure that you at least give them an estimate and show them the value in which that you can give them, then you're just leaving the door open for one of those horror stories of a contractor to come in, finish half the job, ask for 75% up front, and then just leave them. Everybody's heard. It doesn't even matter if you're in the contracting world. Everyone's heard a story like this.
Yeah, it sucks because like when you go into a place and they're like, hey, we had someone come in and they just absolutely messed everything up, and now they have to charge. You have to go in there and basically they're getting charged double once from the
Mm-hmm.
first contractor. Now for you to like either fix it or then do a good job on it, it hurts, man. Like not even just for the client, but it's like I hate hearing that because if I could have just called them earlier, or if I was able to get a hold of them, maybe I knocked that neighborhood like earlier or whatever it is, I could have prevented that.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't understand the gravity of the situation in terms of this. This is the butterfly effect is super real, and if you feel like what you're providing as a service is actually valuable to people, I mean, let me tell you, there's a reason why people are exchanging money for your service.
Hmm.
It's because they're using that money, aka energy, to exchange for either something they just don't want to do or just don't have the skills to do in the first place. And therefore, they feel like they're getting a better deal by exchanging their money than their time or whatever.
So yeah, man. So that's awesome. Like speed to lead is going to be one of the biggest things. What else comes
Totally.
up in terms of making sure that they have a good process in place?
I mean, also just having quality conversations with your leads, and I think it is important to like use a script when you first start talking to people so you have some sort of framework.
Hmm.
However, you really want to make sure that you're having a conversation with them and not necessarily trying to get to the next line of things, right? Because so many times, like when I've called people before and I've just had honest and real conversations with them, their guard is just so much more down
Hmm.
too once I get to the estimate. And it's like within the contracting world, there's also like almost three first impressions, which is super weird, especially if you're running ads. It's like, okay, so you got first impression on ad. Okay. They don't know you, they haven't talked to you. Then they have first impression in terms of estimate setup call. Okay. And then they have first impression in terms of estimate. And they're all very different mechanisms and mediums that things can happen in. So dialing in those three things and having good first impressions there is so good. And I mean, you have more first impressions even from when you start the job. And the worst thing is if you screw up any of those first impressions, you lose the sale and or the job.
The trust is gone.
Yeah.
Like
And everyone's tried to get that back once it's gone, and it's not fun.
yeah, good luck. Like you lose the trust, you got to build so much more to be able to prove that they can trust you again. So yeah, I mean, like you said, right? Speed to lead, honest, great, authentic conversations. Even like I think the one of my favorites is learning about double dialing, and again, it's just
Sure.
obviously making sure that the client's being taken care of, right? So many people are getting phone calls. It's like, no, you reached out to us, and they're like, oh, okay, and then you go into having that call, and just do an audit for yourself, man. It's like, are you double dialing like your leads with Facebook or
Mm-hmm.
even door to door, whatever? Are you getting to them like 5 minutes, like minimum 5 minutes, at most 5 minutes, right? Did you text them, email them, leave a voicemail if they didn't pick up? Did you call them again, or was it just the first time? and then that was the lead that you just left forever for weeks. Yeah, leaves clues, man. It leaves
It
clues.
totally, it totally leaves clues. But I do think that's our time for today here, Jimmy. If you guys want to see what it might look like to potentially work with us here at Launchpoint Media and scale your remodeling or painting company, we'll have a link down below for you guys to do that. But we really appreciate you guys listening, and we'll see you in the next. Cheers.
Cheers.